Hello, happiness abounder, and welcome back. So excited to start a new week, which means a new theme. And this week's theme is all about the happiness and gratitude connection and the ability for us to express gratitude. So with that said, let's talk about it, right? Let's talk about today's topic of that connection. You've seen the studies, you've read the articles, you've watched the videos, you've listened to the podcasts, and everybody across the board says gratitude is one of the fastest ways to feel happier. And I don't disagree. I think that it is. But my question for you today is this: do you actually do it? Do you actually express gratitude? Whether it's in the morning, before bed, in the moment? How do you express gratitude, and have you seen the connection of it making you happier? That's what I want to talk about today. So, answer the question, right? I wish I was there in person, but I always say, raise your hand if you're driving in the car or if you're doing dishes or working out, whatever that time is, raise your hand. Do you express gratitude? Do you express it consistently? If you do, you are one of the very rare people in this world that does express gratitude on the regular. Most of us, we know the details, we know the information, we know it can contribute to our happiness, but we still don't do it consistently. For some of us, it's not a part of our morning routine. For others, it's really hard to find something to be grateful for in the moment. But there is that connection. So, of course, like always, going to share a story. As we were building our house, it felt like everything under the sun could go wrong. We were over budget. We were over timeline, right? We were over deadline. And every 2 weeks that we were over our deadline, our interest rate went up. Plus, we were already over budget on materials. We had difficulty getting people to come out and actually do the work. And while this was all happening, we were living in a tiny apartment with 2 dogs and an entire house worth of stuff. And as I say that, some of you may be like, man, that's rough. And others of you might be like, really? My life's much harder. But that's not what this is about. It's not about comparison, which is also a thief of joy and happiness, but it's about gratitude. And I think that comparison is the opposite of gratitude, right? We shouldn't be comparing ourselves, and when we do, we lose that gratitude piece. But that's a small tangent, but to continue the story, it was really, really hard not to be upset. And I knew coming into this new house that I wanted it to be full of love and peace and comfort and kindness. And so I knew that I couldn't be mad at our builder. I knew that I couldn't be mad at the people who were working for our builder. I couldn't be mad at the bank for the system that we had signed up under and how it was kind of unfair in today's market. I couldn't be mad at all of these things. I couldn't be mad at the small space we're in. These were choices we had made, and they just didn't really go our way. But I knew that if I wanted to have a life and a home of peace, love, and happiness, I couldn't be angry about these things. I couldn't see somebody else's house going up and compare myself. But I also was a little upset, right? That's natural. So what did I do to find myself in a better spot? I had to express gratitude. I had to be grateful we even had the opportunity to build a house, that we're learning all of these things up front. So if we ever build again, which is unlikely, but if we ever build again, we know the pitfalls, we know what to look out for, we know what communication to have. We know what kind of loan to get. Right? There's opportunities to learn and grow, and I was so grateful for that. I was grateful for the fact that we lived in this tiny apartment because it really pushed us to figure out what we needed in our life and what was excess. I was grateful for moving 4 different times in the last month while our house was trying to get built. I was grateful that it wasn't over the timeline more, so we didn't have to pay more in our interest rate. And by having that connection and pulling in gratitude when I could have been angry, upset, and feeling entitled, it changed everything. I was actually excited to move into the house, and not because we'd been waiting so long, and not because of anything other than it's our house. We designed it. It's so amazing to move in. We moved in, and I didn't start looking for every little thing wrong so I could keep being mad. So I could keep on being justified in the anger about the house. Instead, I was expressing gratitude that we were here and we have plenty of room, and it's something that I took off my vision board. It's something I'd put on my wall saying I wanted a house with lots of windows on a lot of land. And it's something that we were able to get. There was hard work, there was a lot of pain, there was a lot of anger, but we worked through that. And instead of holding on to all of those things and then looking at our house through a negative lens, by looking at it through gratitude, we're able to be happier in the process, but also happier long term. And I'm so grateful to be in the house. Now, whether it's a house, a job, or just something happening in your day, there are so many opportunities to go to the negative. There are so many opportunities to compare, so many opportunities to ask, why me? But I want to challenge you instead to embrace the gratitude, happiness connection. Now, I'm not going to go into the science of all that because, like I said, there are articles, there are websites, there are YouTube videos, scientific research. There's all of this information out there about gratitude and how it correlates to happiness. So I'm not going to go into the research and the details of all of that. I think you can do that on your own, and I think that you're probably already aware, which then brings me back full circle to my first question. Are you expressing gratitude consistently? It's really hard to do it in the moment when everything about the house seems to be crashing down on you, in my instance. But can you express gratitude in the moment? And can you express gratitude when there's nothing bad going on, but maybe nothing super exciting either? A day in the life. Can you express gratitude in those moments? Because if we can get into the habit, into the routine of expressing gratitude, we can be happier not only in the moment, but long after the fact, such as the example of my house. So, that said, I'm going to ask you to think about your expressions of gratitude. Think about when you can do it. Sometimes it's really hard in the moment, and that takes a lot of practice. But sometimes it's as simple as writing 3 things down before you go to bed, or 3 things when you wake up, or 3 things at lunch. But find a time that works for you to express your gratitude consistently. Make it part of your day, make it part of your routine, and you will start to see the little things can make you happy, and you'll start to actually identify and see the little things you maybe didn't see before. You'll start to feel more peace. You'll start to see your partner or your family, people you have relationships with, in a better and brighter light. And ultimately, you can start on that journey to happiness. This is a foundational piece. So that said, I'm going to leave you with that thought today and that challenge to see how you can integrate gratitude consistently into your life, your habits, your routines, and to see its short-term and long-term effects. So that said, keep on tuning in for the rest of this week as I continue to talk about gratitude. We talk about how it can relate to grace, which is a really interesting connection there, how situational gratitude can really help us in the moment, how gratitude and leadership, whether you're a leader of your family, the workplace, or your community, can really come together and create an excellent leadership opportunity, and how we can create a gratitude routine. So stay tuned for the rest of this week as I walk through each of those things. And if you like this episode, please rate, review, subscribe, and share if it's possible to do so. And make sure you rate and review on Facebook or on Apple Podcasts. And you can find those both links at happinessabound.com. So that said, have a wonderful day. And above everything else, remember, you are capable of happiness abound.